So, man, how have you been? It's the world's going crazy right now with the pandemic and everything going on right now in the United States. How are you doing? How has quarantine treated you and the family?
It's pretty much good. I'm alive, so I'm one up on a Super Mario game with that one. So I can't complain there. I was able to fight again, so that's another one up. So like my business was shut down for a little bit with reopening and stuff, so we're just getting back in that. So I'm counting my blessings, man. I can't complain about it. Like I said, a lot of people are doing a lot worse, so
Yeah,
I'm just making sure I'm counting my blessings.
yeah, I'm up in Canada, so it's everything got locked down and it's still locked down essentially. So, uh,
Really?
yeah, I can't do a whole lot. They just opened up like regular gyms now, but you have like an hour long window to get there. So if you want to shower and stuff, and like it's pain, man. It's awful. So by the time you get there and stuff, you have like half an hour to do stuff, and then you got to leave.
Really? See, like
Yeah.
they opened up the gyms here like pretty open. You do kind of do like you're supposed to wear a mask. My MMA gyms reopened. I just have people like where it's like a whole bunch of hand sanitizer, just spraying everything every day and spraying stuff. If someone goes out of town to like a COVID-19 hotspot, I'm like, yo, don't come in for 2 weeks. What I mean, go quarantine or go get tested or whatever. So we're just kind of keeping it in that sense.
Yeah, I mean you had a very successful performance. What is it now? A week and a couple days away.
Yeah,
Uh,
like a
yeah.
week, 2 days.
So walk me through that finish. I mean, super impressive. I thought he was gonna be the grappler going into it. He ducked low. He went straight for the neck, and seconds later, you got your hand raised. How
Yeah,
does it feel, first of all, and walk us through that finish?
yeah, man. I mean, like everyone else is surprised. Again, it comes down to it. Everyone else is sitting over there like caveman SpongeBob, looking on around and shit. I'm like, well, I knew that was going to happen. Like that was my plan. I told my coach, I'm like, if he shoots on me, I'm going to fucking guillotine him because like he's gonna shoot because I'm punching him. He's not going to shoot like and set it up. He's going to shoot because he's getting punched and he's going to be desperately shooting. And that's what I do when people desperately shoot. I guillotine them.
I'd like to formally apologize because when you made your debut, I thought you were gonna lose.
Yeah, you and a whole bunch of people. Y'all all
Last
sitting there like, who the fuck is this dude? That's
last
just the way it
weekend.
is. Everyone said that. Everyone was like, I think there was like people from Pittsburgh, and that's it. That's why the betting odds were so damn high, and Pittsburgh made a whole bunch of fucking money.
Yep, last weekend, I was like, "Oh, Luis Pena is gonna win," and he did not. So I'd like to apologize, man, and it'll be the last time that happens. So
Listen, I tell people, I'm like, listen, it's okay. I'm new. The odds, like, it's like fucking Hunger Games. The odds are not in my fucking favor. It's just not. Like, I'm older. These guys are younger. They have like, Pena has like two finishes in the UFC. He has only two losses by split decision. He had never been finished in his pro career. And then they look at me and they're like, oh, this motherfucker's old. He trains out of his little personal gym he has in Pittsburgh. He doesn't train with any UFC fighters. Pena was training at AKA. Then he's got American Top Team. This guy's gonna get fucking murdered. And I get it. Once you calculate and you look at it, it's like, yeah, unless you really look at the opponents that I fought and the people that I fought and how I fought, and you wouldn't really understand. You just be like, oh, this guy's like 6 years older than him. Like the average 55er is 27.
yeah.
That's when you start hitting your stride when you're 27. Then like you're 30, 32, you're kind of like maxing out. 33, it's like, oh yeah, 33, 33, 34, 35. It's like you're kind of getting to the end of your career at 155. But for me, yeah, it's different. Maybe I'm a Martian. I'm not too sure, but
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I'm like
a lot of people don't know this, but you're 18-6 now, right? 18 wins.
16-6.
16-6. Sorry, I'm just adding two on. I'm predicting the future. I'm predicting the future.
Right.
So 16-6, but four of the four losses you have outside of the UFC, four of those guys
We're
were
in the
in the
US.
UFC, right?
Yeah.
Your second or third fight was against Paul Felder. Like that's crazy. Bailey Quarantillo, um, Matt Bissett. I mean, you fought some high level guys.
Right.
Um, So was there ever a time where you were like outside the UFC, outside looking in, being like, man, all these guys that I fought, the guys I've lost to, they're getting the shot. When's my time gonna come?
Yeah, I was sitting there hating, drinking. Like, I'm gonna shit on these motherfuckers when I get there. Like, I'm gonna shit on these dudes as soon as I get there. I'm gonna fucking eat these motherfuckers. I swear to God, that's how it was. Like at my last fight before I got signed by the UFC, you can look online. You'll find it's me versus Adam Ward. He had just fought in Bellator and stuff. I knocked him out in the third round. And I remember I said in my interview, I'm watching these fights. I'm watching a whole bunch of bum ass motherfuckers. And I just went because that's how it is. Like I would be sitting there watching these fights. Like he's fucking trash. He's fucking trash. He has no heart. He's trash. He doesn't want to fight. He's trash. He's an athlete, no fighter. He's not athletic. He just fine. I'm just watching these guys like garbage, trash, garbage. He's good, garbage. And that's how I watch it would frustrate the shit out of me. Like I just go down and then I'd prepare for another fight and then I'd fight and then I'd talk some more shit and I'd call some people out online, talk about them while they're fighting and shit. Then you fight again. And now I'm here. And I'm like, all right, cool. But like, it's taking me 2 fights for people like, oh, this motherfucker's crazy. Like, yeah, all right. now I will like kind of running with it. Now, like Pena's Luis is cool as fuck, but he didn't downplay me, but he said I was expecting somebody a little higher up in the UFC with more UFC experience stuff. I'm like, don't get it twisted. UFC experience doesn't mean shit. I have fight experience, combat experience. Like that's dangerous. When you fight a guy who's been around a while, like it's dangerous. I'm like, yeah, man, it's just coming to this point. Like it's different. And for like I said, and I understand why people really didn't see me and expect me to win it. And now motherfuckers like, oh, you're gonna fucking run through that. I'm like, yo, chill, dog. Shit, like, let me fucking get some fights in. Call out this motherfucker and start winning the top 15. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm gonna get there on my nice smooth time, even though I don't have a lot of time because I'm older, but I'm looking to freaking get fights according to my payroll. I tell people all the time. I'm not fighting the top 15 guys if he can make 10 times what I'm making and we're both gonna get fucked up because the top 15 guys, there's no way around it.
Yeah. Is there after your fight, I was like, first name that came to mind was someone else who looked super impressive, was Jim Miller. I was like, oh my God, could you imagine? Another veteran, amazing guy. But is there another name that comes to mind off the top of your head, or are you just whoever they throw at me?
Nah, Jim Miller, how long has Jim Miller been in the UFC?
He's been in the UFC forever.
Forever. That means he's on like his 3rd contract. So Jim Miller's probably making $80,000 to show and $80,000 to win. You know how much I made for my last fight? I'll tell you because the shit's all over the place. 14-14. I'm not fighting that motherfucker. He's making like that's not happening. Like, no, dude. What's the risk and reward for me? Like, unless I win it, I can get his fucking purse. If I can't win and get his purse, what good does it take me to fight somebody that's been around for that long? Unless they say, "Oh, you win this fight, and we'll give you 70% pay raise," and then instead, I'm gonna do my proper dues and build my career up smartly and make money, and then get to those fights and take those fights when it's necessary. And that's the big thing. I'm like, why? What does it benefit me? If I beat, like the big thing is people are like, oh, it gets you closer to the title. Do you know how many motherfuckers there are at 155? Like Jim Miller is in the top 15. Like he's not. Like Drew Dober just hit the top 15. He's on like a 4-fight win streak or some shit. Like there's too many motherfuckers at 155. So the actual time it takes to get to the title, there's no need for me to be fighting guys that are making way more money than me. And then I'm out there putting like we're in the paying business, and my body is literally my work. So I'm not like a fight with Jim Miller is going to be war. I was like that's going to be fucking hard. It's going to be wear and tear on my body preparing for it. Then it's going to be the fight itself. It's going to be wear and tear for like almost. For 30 grand if I win, the fuck out of here. When he's getting on 200 grand, nah, I'm cool, man. I'd rather fight somebody that's like has 2 UFC fights. I mean, shit, Pena made twice as much as I did, and he only has 6 UFC fights. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna fight fights accordingly. unless they're willing to pay more money, I'm gonna fight fights accordingly. And there's a bunch of guys, there's a shit ton of 50 fighters that can just fight accordingly, just fight them. And then once I get through my second contract and they start pushing me forward, then I'll start taking on proper fights for the proper amount of money.
Yeah, you're at lightweight. I mean, there's so many options there. There's hundreds of fighters. There's like I think 100 and some fighters.
I think there's 137 fighters. Like, so why would I go? Let me jump right to this guy so I can get right to the front. Like, that's not how it happens. Then guys be not fighting guys and not doing it. There's too many fucking people at the top of 155.
What was it like competing in an empty arena? I mean, I'm sure you. I mean, you've had so many fights, but I'm sure that one had to be unusual. It probably felt more like a sparring session rather than a fight.
It did and it didn't, because once you start to hit me, it pisses me the fuck off. So once I get hit, I know I'm in a fight. Like the minute I'm in the back and I start hitting my coaches and I have an interesting thing. I have a head coach. His name is Dan. That's his real government name. I call him Master Whitefang, and he has like calves. His thigh goes all the way down to his foot. His leg is just really thick, like he's really dense. His calves are look like my thighs. Seriously, his calves look like my thighs. So with me and him, he's been my head coach for a minute now. He's missed a couple of fights, but he wasn't able to come to this fight because he actually planned a vacation with his family, and I didn't want to mess that all up. So I'm like, just go on your vacation. I'm like, I'll take my other two coaches, my head MMA coach Dave Sachs, and my boxing coach Chris Williams. I took both of them, but normally when I get ready for fights, I kick him like raw, like no shin pads, no anything. I kick his legs, I kick his stomach, I put the kicks right on him, raw shin against his bone, against his thighs and stuff, and he takes it. He's just a thick motherfucker. I was in the back fucking up my other coaches because they ain't used to that. And they know, like, when I'm getting ready for a fight and go, and I'm doctor, as soon as I just start kicking people for real, like I'm out there, and my brain starts registering. I'm kicking, I'm punching the check. Like I'll hit the pads, and then I want to hit something real. I'll tell them I need to hit something real, like a person, a body. I need to get that feeling in my brain, so my brain starts releasing the proper like chemicals to let me know I'm in a fight. And I go, and then my wrestling coach and my head MMA coach, Dave Sachs, is a short little guy, and we start grappling. And there's a video. It's actually a video they use, like, preparing for the fight. They're like, up next, come on. And I'm grappling with him, and I'm, like, shoving his face in. And he was like, dude, you were so freaking violent. I'm like, but he was like, I told him, like, go harder. We were going extremely hard. And, like, that's how I know I'm ready for a fight. So they're like, if you touch me, like, I don't like to be touched before fights. I don't like this. I don't smack hands on the way down before fights. Because in my head, I'm like sparking off, like everything's zapping off. I'm like a fucking Super Saiyan. If you touch me the wrong way, I'll start spazzing the fuck out. So I'm like, I don't smack my hands on the way out. I like to stay in the zone all the way till I get to, because I'm charging up. When I get in the rage, it's like time to go.
It's funny because you hear the complete contrast. Like guys, for example, like Mike Perry, he'll be dancing their way to the octagon, dancing once they get there. I'm like, how are you preparing for a fight if you're just dancing right beforehand? It makes no sense.
So I'll get that. Like I've had fights where I come out fun, but I'm so zoned in, I just don't like to be touched. Like I don't like to be, because I'm harnessing energy the whole time. Like if I'm taking in that, like my first UFC fight, I came out to Drake God's Plan, and I was excited, but I didn't really want to touch anybody. I'm like sucking in energy. I'm taking energy. I don't really want to like let any of it out by being touched until I get down to coaches smack me to wake me up and get me back into the cage.
Was there any nerves going into that UFC debut? I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, on your UFC debut, it's so nerve-wracking." You seemed very calm when I rewatched it.
Yeah, unfortunately there wasn't, and then this last fight there were no nerves again. So I'm like, maybe I'm just like a freaking serial killer or some shit. I don't get nervous, but I got nervous in my last local fight that I fought. I was almost nervous that I threw up before the fight. Like the one before I fought Devontae, 3 weeks before I fought Devontae, I was so fucking nervous. Like my family was there. Like I had all my gym, everybody was there. I was the main event, everyone's there. I'm supposed to win, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna throw up. I went out there, but like, I had to like really get into my zone to come out to it. But my walkout song has a lot to do with me also like zoning in on my way out there. So like I've come out to like everything from Stevie Wonder to Rihanna. I mean, I've like picked everything. Like my last walkout song, I came out to Jay-Z. Before that, I came out like I said, I came out to Drake for my first fight. And before that, I came out to freaking Damian Marley, Welcome to Jamrock. So I mean, like my songs, there's a reason for me picking my song because they're just releasing certain things. I know how I'm going to feel, and like that's why I picked Welcome to Jamrock because that's like it's relaxing, but it's also like in your fucking face. I knew I was going to be nervous for that fight, so I wanted to put a song that relaxed me, but also make sure I'm in the zone at the same time. So that all comes in to help me chill out and properly focus on the fight.
Going into this last fight, you're getting Michael Johnson. There's so many names up in the air. Was there ever a point where you were like, look, man, I need a full training camp. I need an opponent so I can focus on that opponent? Or were you just at that point just being like, man, give me anybody?
When the pandemic started, my manager said, you're going to get a fight on 3 weeks' notice. That's all that they're giving people. So I was like, all right. So he shot me Pena. He shot me Louise, and I'm like, of course I would get the fucking 6'4" fucking dude who like no one's been training with a 6'4" southpaw with fucking long legs and fucking likes to take people's like who the fuck's been training with this guy? But luckily, I got my main training partner is a fast southpaw. So I was able to really get some help. But then I got some really tall guys out here that I box with, and some tall guys. They're not they can switch to go. They switch to wing southpaw and give me some work and stuff. So because I go with southpaw, a lot of my traps and stuff are set up for southpaws and orthodox. I can go good with any of them because my main training partner is a southpaw. So it made it easier. That fight wasn't like, oh, he's a southpaw. I'm so confused. I was just like, hey, it's a southpaw. It's cool. Me, let's look for certain things.
I was talking to Drakkar Klose earlier today, a fellow UFC lightweight, and one of the things he said, because he's awesome, man. He was unbelievable to talk to. But he's in Arizona. He's got a small training camp there. One of the things I asked him was like, has there ever been a thought to like go to an ATT or AKA? And this is a good example where if you're matched up with a guy like Luis Pena, there's so many more resources at an ATT, but you don't get the hands-on that you would at a smaller camp. So, what are the pros and cons, I guess, of training at a smaller camp? And has there ever been a thought of maybe doing like a training camp at a big one?
No. My biggest thing is I consider myself, I'm a world-class striker. I'm an elite world-class striker. And in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, we have some of the highest ranked wrestlers in the world. So I don't need to go anywhere. I don't need to go anywhere. I'm a world-class striker. I have at least 4 or 5 really good, great strikers that I can like put in and work with me. And then I have some of the best grapplers in the world. I have D1 wrestlers. I can walk to every fucking gym and there's like at least 3 D1 wrestlers with their fucking big ass ears and shit, and they just hold you onto the floor, and like they're black belts and they're this and that, and like the guys are doing worlds. And so I'm like, so for me, I'd rather take precision over comfortability of getting different looks and stuff. I can go with amateurs and get different looks. I just tone my skill down and then look for the certain, like that's what my head coach makes me do. He makes me go with everyone. He like tells me to work certain things. You're only doing this. You're only looking for this. You're only working for this because this is what they do good. Let's work on what they do good and try to make it bad. You know what I mean? Don't just do what you do naturally. Make it just win. Don't just look to win. I don't win every round of sparring. Like I make sure I don't win every round of sparring. I try to beat my opponent at what they're doing, but I don't try to just win the round. Like I'm not just here to win the round. Like now, there's certain guys that I'm in there. Like I'm just trying. Like I just have to just fight because we're like trying to kill each other. But if I'm going with someone that doesn't have my skill set, then I just look. I look to like set up different traps in my head and different ways to do things and like play their skill set. You know what I mean? Like okay, this guy likes to play inside. All right, this whole round I'm gonna work everything inside. Everything's gonna be inside. Everything's gonna be like, you know what I mean? This guy likes to push me backwards. All right, cool. This round I'm only gonna push forward. I'm only going to force him to like to be pushing at me. So I just can just, and you can do that, and you can grab from anyone, because like anyone can be dangerous if you allow them to be dangerous. Yeah. That's just what I do. I just force myself to allow people to be dangerous, and then I pick up certain things, and then when I want to implement my plan, I can put it and see how my plan works when I'm in someone else's like field of expertise when it comes to striking. When it comes to grappling, I just have, like I said, there's a ton of motherfuckers I could just work with whenever. I got my head coach, Dave Sachs. He's freaking phenomenal on the ground. He's trained at AKA. I mean, he trained at American Top Team. He trained out with Curtis Blades out in freaking Chicago. He's been all around the world. He's trained. He's phenomenal, like high level wrestler. And then I have D1 wrestlers here, D1 wrestler there, D1 black belt. Like I can get high level guys to do that stuff, guys to do that. So I'm not worried about being able to do that. So right now, in the lightweight division, I don't really see anyone that can give me major problems. I watch a lot of fighting. Like I watch all types of fighting, boxing, high level kickboxing. That's the thing a lot of MMA fighters don't do, is they don't watch kickboxing. And I can tell when they fucking fight because they do stupid shit. And I'm like, you don't watch kickboxing. I watch high level Muay Thai. I watch high level kickboxing. I mean, I watch high level American kickboxing. I watch every form of striking. I watch boxing. I watch old boxing videos. I steal shit from people. I steal shit that kind of adds in the play to me and stuff like. I was a big fan of Israel Adesanya way before he came to the UFC when he was kickboxing, and I remember when he finally started doing MMA, I was like, oh shit, he's trying out MMA. It was kind of cool. He made the UFC, so I consider myself to be a student of striking, not of kickboxing, not of boxing, not of a student of strike. I want to learn how to strike at the highest levels of high, and I want to be able to do stuff that most people can't do. And I think in my fights, that's what makes it so difficult. Like I don't do the basic stuff, and then I do the basic stuff. But I think it's like I can like change up rhythm, and like I said something in my pre-fight meeting with Dominic Cruz, and he was like, so what's your plan? I'm like, I'm gonna get in his chest. And who was it? Michael Bisping was like, oh, does that mean you're gonna grapple with him? I'm like, no. I mean, I'm gonna get in his chest in the way of he's 6'4", so I'm gonna find myself in the medium range. I can't be out and I can't be too deep. I have to be everything I do has to be in the medium range. I have to move my head to make him miss punches. Once he starts to miss punches, then he won't be confident throwing his punches out. Anytime you fight someone that's longer than you, you have to move your head and make them miss punches. Once they miss punches, then you take away their natural ability to feel comfortable. It's like punching a double end ball. You miss 4 punches, you don't feel comfortable about it. Now I'm going to beat you to the target. And that's basically what I did in the punching. It was like my head coach was like 2 seconds into the fight. I knew we were completely safe because he goes, he punched, you punch, he punched, you double punch, he punched, you hit, he punched, you hit again, and then he's looking like, oh fuck, like I'm trying, and that's the thing. He's like, I'm training at this big name gym. I'm like, you haven't seen it all. Like you said, you don't have someone telling you like, okay, this guy's going to change the tempo. I change tempo of fights midway through fights. I can pick up, and de-escalate on purpose. With the conscious brain, not just like because I'm doing it consciously, like knowing what I'm doing, knowing how to increase the tempo, knowing how to decrease the tempo, knowing how to draw you into stuff, knowing how to make you step certain ways, knowing when you don't feel comfortable. I'm seeing how you react. I'm seeing how you feint. I'm seeing what you do when I feint. I'm doing all this all while I'm fighting, and I'm looking straight at you. I'm never taking my eyes, and I'm never looking for a takedown. That's the scary part. Most people in MMA are always punching to set up takedowns. I'm not punching to set up. I'm punching to knee you, kick you, or punch you in the face again. And when people realize that, it's really scary. You're like, oh, this guy's here to fucking fight. And, and it's scary. So then they start shooting. Like if you watch my fight, my coach starts screaming in the first round. He's already shooting. He goes, he's already shooting. He goes, we've already done it. We've already forced a shot. We've already forced a takedown level. So I knew even if he got my back in the second round, I knew I'm like, all I have to do is get back up because I'm going to be able to get him because I know how he's going to be shooting now. He's going to be reaching out long. I'll be able to stuff and take his neck. And that's exactly what happened. And I had that planned out. Like I had 5 or 6 different ways for me to finish the fight. And that was just one of them, just because the things that he does and things that I do and me making him respond to certain things.
I think, like you mentioned, like I think studying other like watching Muay Thai, watching all these other things goes a long way. Like one of the greatest examples I like to look at is the Sage Northcott fight when he went to ONE FC, right? Everyone was like, oh, he's going to steamroll Cosmo. No, he's not.
World class. What the fuck are you talking about? And that's the thing. The biggest thing with MMA gyms is I spar with pro boxers.
Yeah.
Like one of my main sparring partners is Bill Hutch. Like my not main sparring partner, but I get work with him, man. Is Bill Hutchinson. He's like 18-2 as a pro boxer. He has a world title fight coming up. I train with other pro boxers or like 12-3 or 12-1. Another guy that's 7-0. Like, and I don't just get in there and survive. I like give them the fucking work, and they give me the work, and we do it, and I get comfortable under pressure. A lot of MMA fighters don't get comfortable under pressure. They like MMA grappling is the way to stop the pressure. So what do you do when that guy steps back and keeps punching? Or what do you do when that guy starts kicking? I mean, like I try to train with pro kickboxers. Like I do rounds where we're not allowed to grapple all the time. Like, no, there's no fucking grappling. We're only kickboxing. So now you have to fight. I mean, like every MMA, everybody knows we just grapple, right? Everyone just grapples. Everyone just wrestles. No one just like it's hard for me, but oh yo, we're only kickboxing. They're like, oh well, I can't grapple. No, motherfucker, we're only kickboxing. So you have to get used to like getting kickboxed. Because eventually you're gonna run into that guy who's gonna sprawl, who's gonna throw you the middle finger, he's gonna tell you he wants to punch your face in. That's what Justin Gaethje does. He just breaks people because they're just not used to that. And he keeps the pace high. He applies pressure and he stays in their chest. And most people be trying to shoot on him. He's sprawling. He's still punching. They're looking around. And he's in your dick hole the whole time. It's like a very irritating feeling. And it's once you get that, you're calculating, you're moving forward, and you're doing that, you break people. You break them before their bodies break. You break them mentally. And that's what I like to do on opponents.
Another guy who's very much like Justin Gaethje, where he's in your face, he's gonna fight every time, is fighting this weekend. Jorge Masvidal steps up on 6 days' notice. What's your thoughts on Jorge Masvidal being the baddest motherfucker in the world, stepping up and flying to the other side of the world and fighting for a title? And second, what's your opinion on the fight? Who do you think wins it?
I mean, Jorge Masvidal has been actually another fighter that I've been stealing shit from for a long time. My head coach will tell you we've been watching Masvidal since he was in Strike Force. He actually fought one of my old teammates, Justin Wilcox, in Strike Force. That was a close fight. But Masvidal's he's been a fighter. That's why my head coach started to watch him and like take stuff. He goes, dude, he's this guy's kind of like you. He fights. Like, yes, he's a boxer, he's a kickboxer, he fights. First and foremost, he's a fighter. And that's my mentality of how I fight. As for him taking up this fight on short notice, I'm pretty sure they coughed him up a whole bunch. Again, we're in the fight business and our body is the way that we do business. So they coughed him up some good money. So he probably like jumped at the opportunity. Now, as for the fight, I don't know, man. Like I said, Masvidal's my man. He's been my man for a man. He's BMF. But Masvidal has had the right 3 fights. He's had the right 3 fights. He had Nate Diaz, who had been off for a while. Then he got Nate Diaz, and he also got tired in that fight. He got tired. Nate Diaz was making him tired with his face. He's kicking Nate and elbowing Nate, and Nate just keep coming. He was getting tired from Nate Diaz's face. He fucked up my man, Ben Askren, and then he knocked out Till as Till was cutting too much weight. I know something about that. I used to cut to 45. I get touched in the head and I'd go back. No, not enough fluids around your brain. Before that, he lost Stephen Boy Wonder Boy. And then he beat Cowboy. I think he beat one more, then he lost before that. I just think he has the right 3. He has the right 3 fights lined up. I think it'll be a hard fight for Usman at first. I don't know. I think Usman gets a hold of that motherfucker. Like Usman's been training has a whole full training camp. Like you don't really. I would jump at the opportunity, yes. And he's a BMF for doing it? Hell yes. That's all cool. But then it's like, yeah, you a bad motherfucker. You a shit. Yeah, you can go. Oh shit, y'all drink your party. You got your pink robe and shit. Oh, it's fly. And then they're like, oh shit, you gotta fight this Nigerian psychopath who's been training with Justin Gaethje and him up in Denver for the past month and a half. and this motherfucker's pissed off because he don't like you. So that's some scary shit. Don't get me wrong, Masvidal can always go in there. He's like I say, he's a fighter. That's a known fact. He can go in there and do what he needs to do. But Usman's a fucking problem, dude. That dude's a problem. Like he's a serious problem. And what he showed in his last fight is he don't give a fuck. When he took Kobe Cousins and just stayed on his ass, he stayed on. They didn't even shoot no takedowns. They're punching shit like. And the simple fact that he can shoot a takedown and slow the fight down and drag Masvidal in the late rounds where he's like gasping for air, that's hard, dude. Like it's hard. And like how much weight does he have to cut?
20 pounds.
That's not bad. That's if that's it. So I was thinking today, I was like, yo, the UFC is a business. I was talking about one man. I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if 20 years from now it comes out this shit was all planned. I'm like, the UFC is a business. Dana White is cool with Vince McMahon. You know, Vince McMahon can be like, yo, I'm telling you how to make your sales go up. You get one fight, you cancel fight, you put in those two who hate each other. People are saying that fight should have happened in the first place, then it happens. Everybody's going to buy the pay-per-views. I'm not saying it's true, but nowadays, conspiracy theories are all true nowadays. Everyone's conspiracy theories are all over the fucking place. So I'm like, I was scratching my head the other day. I'm like, I can see this shit being a setup from the get-go. And Masvidal was already ready to go, and he's ready, and and it could just be that. Or my man could have tested positive, and I could just be making shit up. Don't quote me on it. I don't want motherfuckers to see this freaking interview and be like, "Yo, fucking Khama said, yo, I ain't trying to get fired from my fucking job." Don't be quoting me on that shit. I'm saying this. It might be. I'm in my conspiracy theory box right now.
I also said the same thing when Connor threw that dolly. I was like, that's fake.
It's all. There's a whole everything is like, is it about money? Is it about like you don't know? And when you sit back and you're like, oh, it's kind of like watching reality TV. I'm like, that shit's not fucking real. Like, come on, man. Like, that shit ruined me when I found that like dating shows like The Fifth Wheel and shit. None of that was real. I was like, I've been watching this shit forever and it's not even fucking real. What the fuck? Pissed me off.
Good. It's actually a very good point. I never really thought about Fight Island potentially being this whole like, you know, it's all been planned. All these fights have been planned for months, but they're gonna make. It's actually not a bad point.
It's a business. I'm not saying the fights are fixed, but I'm saying like the whole way that they play out. Because right now I'm seeing like everything's just. It's the fight that everyone wanted and they couldn't get, and then at the last minute you're being satisfied with it, so everyone's gonna fucking buy the pay-per-view and stuff. So I'm just sitting there like, yeah, okay.
Questions and I'll let you go. So as for you, what's a timeline? I mean, obviously big win. I'm sure you're on a high right now. It's like I could beat anybody right now. But is realistically, what's the time frame for your return?
I'm looking for like late August, September, and I'm like I said, I would like to fight Ataman. I already said I wanted to fight him or Yancy Medeiros. Like he's a veteran fighter. He's been in the UFC for a while, but those are right. Azatar's 12-0, and like there's him, and I think there's one other undefeated fighter, Joe Flacco or whatever. I think he actually beat Luis Pena. So I want to get either three of them or get them all in a row, like not the same night. Yeah, you know, the death fight. Line them up, motherfuckers. Let's go. But I like to get at least one of them or two of them, both of them. And like once I've gotten the 4 fights, then I'll start digging into like the top 20, top 15 guys and stuff like that. There's some couple of guys I would like to mix in with. Like I'm just still like watching people and shit. Seeing how they're training, seeing how they're looking, like I'm like, all right, that's cool. Just keep my eyes on them.
One thing I noticed about your career is, with the exception of one fight, they've all been in the United States, with the exception of the one in Toronto.
Yes.
Has fighting in the United States been like, or is like, I was talking to Drakar, and one of the things he said was, he's like, A, I don't have a visa, and B, I get taxed everywhere else, so why would I go? Are you open to traveling elsewhere, or is it just?
Yeah, I've fought in China before, just watching an MMA fight. It was like a 10-minute shoot boxing fight. 10 straight fucking minutes, which was like one fucking earth. So yeah, I'm up for fighting anywhere. I would love to travel the world from fighting and be able to go to different places and shit. I'm trying to get a trip back to Africa. If the I know the UFC's been trying to get to Africa. I know it. I'm like, get my black ass on that car. I'm like, my name is Khama, for God's sake. I got an African name. Get my ass on this card.
They have some fighters there now that can really make a pull, right?
It's between I'm waiting. I'm pretty sure they're trying to get Francis Ngannou to the title, and then they're trying to go to Africa. That's the one country they haven't been able to get into yet. And there's a huge African market for MMA, and then like now there's a lot like fucking half of the fucking champions are fucking African. Like they're all like it was Usman, Israel, and who else?
Francis is right there. Francis is
right there. Yeah, so that's a lot, and they're all from the same fucking like that's pretty impressive. So I think they could sell that, and the combat sports it's like going to like Brazil and shit over there. Like, it's bigger. The people are more behind it. In America, we love our fighters, but they're not really behind us all like that. You know, we like football players and baseball players and all that. You know, we're like people like us and we're cool to be around. I'm like, hey, motherfucker, move! I gotta get the shot. Move your fucking ass out. I mean, like, they knocking me over to get the shot and shit. You know what I mean? Like, if you pick LeBron James, even though Conor McGregor has kind of. But still, like if you watch MMA, you kind of know who Conor. If you pick, you want to beat Conor McGregor or Michael Jordan, but get the fuck out of my way. I'm gonna go meet Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan or Tom Brady. I'm gonna go meet Tom Brady. I'm gonna go meet LeBron James. Yeah, Conor McGregor's cool for MMA, but he's not fucking LeBron James. You know, fucking that's the GOAT. That's fucking LeBron James. Like, you know, so it's different. Like so, but in other countries, it's different. You go to China. When I fought in China, we were treated like royalty over there. I was like, oh shit, like I ain't want to come back. It was just a different feel for how they treat combat athletes in other countries and stuff.
One thing that I was talking to some of the guys I write with about was they haven't announced the cover of UFC 4. I said, how crazy would it be with everything going on in the world right now and opening up a market in Africa? How crazy would it be if you had Francis Ngannou in the back, all 265 pounds of that man, and then Izzy and Kamaru?
That's what they should do. But then you have to realize America's racist as fuck. And if there's three black ass dudes on the cover of the man, people be flipping, oh, bullshit, they did that shit because it's Black Lives Matter, there's three black guys who fucking cover this book. That's what happens. So, I mean, the UFC is smart. They would do it to make money, yes, but they will also get backlash from it. It's just the way it is. Because the people are like, oh, none of those motherfuckers are even Americans. I'm just saying, have you seen America lately, dog? Like, we were not the brightest people over here.
You're absolutely right. I'm in Canada, so thankfully I avoid all that stuff. One last question. I saw on your Instagram story, you are not for getting a new phone. I just got a new phone the other day, and I'm still converting the contacts. What is it? Why don't you want a new phone?
Because I like this old one, and I know how to do everything on this motherfucker. Why I'm like even though right now like your video looks a lot clearer than mine, everyone's like, your fucking video fucking sucks, man. Like you're doing your Instagram live, it looks like you're shooting through a fucking potato. Shit, I'm like, oh. So I mean, I guess I just hate like you got to go get the new. You got to get your passwords. I don't know any of my fucking passwords. So like I haven't got a new. Like I said, I think it's been like 3.5 years, and my phone was old when I got it. I got it because it's the cheapest fucking phone in the fucking store. Like I'm like, give me that one because it costs $80. Give me that. I'm like, I don't feel like going through the whole plot. And then you go in there. What do they do? Oh, I know you. Oh my God. Listen, so this iPhone 37, this thing can be synced into your fucking arm and it I'm like, I don't fucking need all that. I just need a fucking phone that can record some fucking videos. But you're in the Sprint store and they're trying to sell you a new fucking house. And like, we got security systems, robots, robot dogs, robot children. I'm like, yo, I don't need all that shit. I came here for a fucking phone. And then they look at you like you're a Neanderthal if you don't just take like the bait. I'm like, give me that fucking walkie-talkie right there. $36, motherfuckers. Keep fucking with me. That's just how I feel. I'm
Struggling.
sorry.
All the once again, man, thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it. You're one of the funniest guys I've ever interviewed.
Your interview skills are real. I like this. Like, it's a real. I put a shout out to people. I'm like, yo, if you're doing an interview with me, be fucking real. I'm like, be a real person. Don't just ask the UFC basic question. I'm like, be real, be personal. Tell me something about yourself like that. It was a perfect interview. As you can see, it's been long as hell. It's super, super, super fun. There's no problem with me.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw your post. I was like, okay, well, I'm not prepping anything. I'm just going to do a little bit of research, but we'll just talk, and whatever happens, happens. Yeah, it is. All right, man. Thank you for the time. Hopefully, I will see you back in there in August, and hopefully you'll knock off and go 3-0.
Yes, sir, man. Thanks, brother.
I appreciate it. Stay safe. Wash your hands, and don't catch anything.
Oh, seriously, motherfuckers is dropping like flies right now. Seriously, what's his name? Just got he just Frankie Edgar's opponent just pulled out.
Yeah, Pedro Munoz out now too.
I'm just every night I come back and just like sit in a bathtub of a fucking of lights on and shit to make sure I ain't catching shit. I need to keep fighting. I need to make some money. All right, man.
All right, nice man. All the best. I appreciate it.
Not a problem, man. Peace.